Hi, I'm Zena Garrison, and you're listening to Brothers on Tennis.
Hi, this is Chanda Rubin, and you're listening to Brothers on Tennis.
Hi, this is Katrina Adams, and you're listening to Brothers on
Hey
Tennis.
guys, I'm Andrew Krasny, and you're listening to Brothers on
What
Tennis.
up, boys and girls? This is your boy, Prakash Amatraj, and you're about to listen to me on the Brothers on Tennis.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is your boy, Isaac.
And this is your boy, Bryce.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. And folks, we are back. It is 2021. And man, oh man, have I missed this sport that we know and love called tennis. Bryce, what's the good word, my man? What's the good word?
Yeah, it's all good, man. Just, staying home. They're talking about, we've got these different versions of the Rona out here now. And look, it ain't nothing but for me and my dog to stay at home right now. Long as I can't get it from Buddy, I'm going to be like SWV right here.
Right.
I ain't going nowhere until I get the 2 shots in my arm. And
yes, sir.
It'll be a week after that. So,
man, you better call it, bruh. That's what it is, man. The vaccine is coming. We just got to be patient. It's going to be a minute. So, I know folks are excited, but hey, we plan on another good 4 to 6 months of just being patient. And then hopefully, like you said, my man, we can get those 2 doses and we can get back to some sense of normalcy around this place. Because, man, I'm tired of these 4 walls.
Exactly.
So, folks, really quickly, want to make sure we give the proper shout-outs. We are recording this show today on the Locker Room app. Now, the Locker Room is the only live audio social networking app for sports fans. So, make sure that you get engaged. You can listen to our show on Locker Room in real time before it even hits your iTunes feed. You can actually do that and engage with us while we are recording the show. So once again, get out there, download the app. You can even start your own room. You can talk about tennis. You can react to tennis. You can talk about scores and upsets and all these other wonderful things. It's really a great place for you to be able to kind of find some level of commonality with other sports fans out there. So make sure you get out there. Make sure you download the app. And it's in the Apple App Store. It is there. Got to have the Apple product right now, but make sure you go and get it and interact with us. Right, Bryce?
That's it, man.
Yeah, man.
And we're very excited because this is a very special episode for us. As those of you who have been following us for a while, last year we did our very first annual Brothers on Tennis Player Awards. And this is where we have 6 different categories.
Yes.
Where we award a winner on both the ATP side and on the WTA side. And in case you forgot, just a reminder of what those categories are. We have Newcomer of the Year. We have Breakout Performance of the Year. We have the Upset of the Year. We have Player of the Year. We have Mr. and Miss Petty of the Year.
Yes.
And we also have our very own, the No You Didn't award that will go to someone on both the ATP and the WTA. Now, what we're going to do a little differently this year than what we did last year is last year we just recorded this straight as a podcast and we posted it. But because we're on Locker Room, when we finish going through all of our categories and letting you know who we've selected, we're going to bring some of you up to talk about what were some of the key moments for you in this 2020 tennis season. And we know stuff was popping off in the world of tennis all the way up until the last day of this year. And
right?
it almost made us change some of our award recipients there at the end, but we figured we'd let you guys talk about that. So, Isaac, anything you want to add before we get started?
No, brother, you captured that exactly. Perfect.
Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead, and what Isaac and I are going to do is we're going to take turns giving you who we have selected this year as the winner in each one of these categories. And so I'm going to kick it off with the Newcomer of the Year award on the ATP side. And the person that we have selected is Mr. Yannick Sinner from Italy as our newcomer on the ATP. If you think about it, here's just a couple of things for him for this year. This year, when he was 19, he won his very first tour title. He won the Sofia Open in Bulgaria, where he defeated Vasek Pospisil in the finals. So, this is a major accomplishment because we've often talked about the challenges like FAA has had. He's made it to a lot of finals, but he hasn't won his first tournament yet. Well, Sinner has already done that. He's also had some very big wins this year. He's had 2 wins over Goffin. He has 1 win over Tsitsipas, and he has a win over Zverev. And then probably one of his biggest results this year is that he actually made it to the quarterfinals of the French Open, where he lost to Rafael Nadal, where we all know there is no shame in losing to Rafael Nadal at the French Open. And he ended the year ranked number 36 in the world. So we think that Sinner has some real big things coming in his future, and he was one of the brightest spots we saw on the men's tour this year. What do you think, Isaac?
Oh, exactly, bro. I mean, everything that you said. I mean, we even saw Sinner kind of step out there, if you will, winning the, I always forget, it's called the Next Gen tournament at the end of 2019. So he made his statement even then. He made it to the final against, I believe it was the Demon, Alex de Minaur. And he was like, Alex, I'm not scared of you. And basically, he was like, I am next gen. Don't get it mistaken. And I mean, he has simply added on to that. I think it helped his confidence coming into 2020. And even though, of course, we had, the craziness of 2020, he came out and said, I'm going to continue on the path. And I think that he's got a great team around him, and he's just done some really great things, man. So I am a huge fan of Yannick Sinner. And I think that he is one of those guys that they better definitely watch out for in the next few years. I would definitely say he's going to win a Grand Slam. That's for sure.
I agree.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's Yannick Sinner on the newcomer side for the men. On the women's side, we have actually selected an American.
Yay!
Yay! Go America. We went ahead and picked Jen Brady as the newcomer of the year because I'm gonna tell you what, Jen showed out this year. I mean, she did a thing. I mean, she started out, off the bat. She was like, "Yo, I'm gonna take the off season and I'm just gonna leave the States and I'm gonna go over to Spain and I'm gonna get my fitness right. I'm gonna get my mind right. I'm gonna try and tighten up my game such that I can really get out here and compete." And I mean, it really showed. It started out with the Lexington tournament, and just like I said, she captured her own her first title, similar to Sinner last year, and just really she has had some really solid victories and made some great progress in the tournaments that she's been in. A little up and down here and there, but overall, she has really had a good season, and in my opinion, is very deserving of this newcomer award. What do you think about that, Bryce?
Totally agree. And when you can look back at the year and say that you beat Sharapova, Ash Barty, Svitolina, Vondrousova, and Muguruza.
Yeah.
You have had a very good year. And let's not forget, even though she didn't win, a lot of people say one of the best matches of the year was when she made it to the semifinals of the U.S. Open and lost that 3-setter to Osaka.
That's right.
So, I mean, she really was about it the whole year.
Yeah, those semifinals, I keep forgetting. The semifinals at the U.S. Open were fire. Oh, my goodness. Those
They were.
Matches. My goodness. Yes, sir.
So, congratulations to Sinner and Brady for the Newcomer Award for 2020 for us. We're going to move on to the Breakout Performance of the year. And so I'm going to start it off on the WTA side this time. And you know what? This was not a hard one for us. It was
right.
We were like, duh. Breakout performance goes to none other than Iga Swiatek.
Yeah.
Most people didn't even know who she was before the French Open. And I just want to say this thing. I don't know if a lot of people know this or not. Not only did she win the French Open, not only did she beat people like Bouchard, who, and you may say, oh, Bouchard, that's not that great of a win. Quietly, if you have been paying attention, Bouchard going into this year was really playing well.
Right.
She had been playing over in Europe. She was looking really good. I was surprised to see that. And then everybody said, oh, Halep is the favorite to win the French Open. And all she did was sit down at Iga's table and get fed. 6-2, 6-1, got the whole biscuit and the breadstick in the round of 16. As a matter of fact, I don't know if people paid attention that Iga fed every one of her opponents in each round at least one set. So
That's
either
right.
a bagel, a breadstick, or a whole biscuit. So it's not like Iga won the French Open by all these 3-set, third set, long victories. She drove people.
Exactly.
She drove them. And then as if it wasn't big enough that she beat Kennan 6-4, 6-1 in the finals, who, let's not forget, Kennan had already won the Australian Open earlier in the year. She actually was also in the semifinals of the doubles with our friend of the show, Nicole Mellicott.
That's right. That's
So
right.
let me tell you what. Iga's bag leaving the French Open was full. It was real full because she had a singles championship and she had a double semifinals place. She won. That was the only title she won of the year. She won 14-5, but she ended the year ranked in the top 20, number 17.
Man.
That was one of the most unexpected, but one of the best breakout performances we've seen in a while.
Absolutely, bro. I couldn't disagree with you, at all, because she just got out there and clowned. It's like, who is Iga Swiatek? Who is this? Right? I mean, seriously. And she was just like, listen, you will know my name by the end of this tournament. You best believe that. And she climbed up on some women and was like, listen. She snatched off them earrings. She got the Vaseline out and was like, look, we about to go to battle. And she got up in there and did her job, man. She did her business. It was awesome to see.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, and honestly, Bryce, it goes to, because I think we had talked about this on one of our shows last year. She has a sports psychologist that she works with. And I mean, it's those little things. It's like I said, we talked about Jim Brady going over to Spain to do the training on the off season. We got Iga Swiatek, who has, gotten, when you're adding those little extra components, those are the things that are making the difference in these folks really shining and just doing their thing. So, Iga did her thing, and I am very excited and anxious to see how she's going to follow up on all of that come 2021 in this new season. It should be very interesting to watch, that's for sure.
I agree.
Yes, sir. And as far as the breakout player on the men's side, so this is a little bit different from Iga in the sense that she just burst on the scene and was like, yo, this with our recipient on the male side, he's someone who, in my opinion, started his rise and unfortunately got injured and kind of had to then take a back seat. And then when he saw that his shine was being stolen by his countrymen, he was like, hail to the no. You're going to give me my shine. Who we are talking about is Andre Rublev. Andre Rublev is our breakout player of the year on the men's side you might as well say he's comeback player of the year as well, because that fool got about hair. Listen, y'all. he got out there and got silly with it. I mean, we had a consolidated 2020 calendar, y'all, and this fool won like 4 or 5 tournaments.
5, yes.
5. I'm like, how do you just step out there and be like, yo, I'm about to take 5 tournaments and we're not even going to play a full season? I mean, come on now. And what I'm talking about, and Bryson, you and I've talked about this, basically, Daniil Medvedev, countryman, he did his thing and showed out last summer, 2019, and all the shine started going to Daniil. And before that, Rublev, of the 3 Russians, Khachanov, Rublev, and Medvedev, Rublev was actually the first one to really kind of start making his presence felt on the tour. And so he was growing and getting his shine going, and then he got injured. And then, so he's off battling the injury, and here comes Daniil like, yo, Djokovic, ain't nobody scared of you, and started beating up on folks last summer. And like I said, he took away a lot of Rublev's shine, and Rublev then came back and said, yo, 2020 is my year. Now, mind you, Daniil did show out at the end of 2020. But Rublev did the damn thing, and for him to win 5 tournaments in a condensed season is just simply ridiculous. And I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna let you comment on it, Bryce, because I could talk all day about Andre Rublev.
No, I'm gonna just totally agree with what you said. I mean, he won 2 250 level tournaments and 3 500 level tournaments on the tour. He went 41-10 on the year and ended up and really capped it off well because he ended up ranked number 8 in the world and ended up actually making it to the year-end championships. Now, granted, I think by the time they got to the end of the year, the other players was like, okay, now we about tired of you. But he had the most successful year in terms of number of tournaments of anyone. So, yeah, that was great. So, in terms of breakout players, Swiatek and Rublev, congratulations. Awesome performances.
Yes.
Now, we're going to move on to the next category, which is upset of the year. And I'll start on the men's side. And, I think we were all surprised by this victory, but it's like we were all very happy for him.
Yes.
And that is when Diego Schwartzman beat Rafael Nadal at the Rome Masters in the quarters in straight sets, 6-2, 7-5. Now, we've said many times, one of the most difficult things to do in tennis is to beat Rafael Nadal on European red clay.
Right.
He just doesn't lose, and especially if it's at the French Open. But let's not forget, Nadal had won Rome 8 times. So it isn't like he hadn't done well there before. But, Diego ended the year ranked number 9. He also lost in the finals of the second Cologne tournament to Zverev. And let's not forget, he this wasn't just very flukish because he then went on to the French Open to beat Dominique Thiem in 5 sets at the French Open. Now, granted, Nadal was there in the semifinals to remind him what time it was. That we weren't in Rome no more.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think anyone, would have thought that Schwartzman was going to beat. I remember watching that match, and when he won the first set 6-2, he gave Nadal a whole biscuit. I was like, wow, okay, all right, but Nadal is going to come back and win these next 2, and that's going to be it.
Right.
But for him to keep his steal and to pull that second set out 7-5, yeah, I give him the slow clap. He deserves upset of the year on the men's side for me. What do you think, Isaac?
Dude, I mean, like you said, anytime you can beat Nadal on, especially European clay, but clay in general. Because we all know Nadal is the man. He is the beast on clay, and you have to bring something special on the day in order to be able to beat him. And for little Diego, I call him, pocket size. For him to be able to step out there and beat him on clay. He was playing some tennis that day, bro. I remember that match. I watched it, and it was like, he is on fuego. He is fire. Smoke is coming out them shoes. I mean, he was, bruh. Oh, it was a beautiful thing to see. And mind you, it's nothing against the dog. The dog's the dude. But anytime someone can pull an upset like that, whew, yes, sir. That deserves some attention and some recognition. So by far, he deserves the upset award from us for certain.
Yeah.
And on the ladies' side, the upset that we picked to give the award to, I know it hurts to the core. It's like a knife driving into my stomach. But basically, we gave that award to the match. And I don't know if I'm going to say her name right. I know that
think of the 80s pop band. That's what I always think of.
Xing Wang?
No, Wang Chung.
Oh, Wang Chung. I thought you always said the last name first. Anyway, I'm bad when it comes to the appropriateness of saying the names outside of the U.S. But yes, Wang Chung. Basically, it was Wang Chung upsetting Miss Serena Williams in the Australian Open. She was like, "Ain't nobody scared of you." And what was really interesting about the whole thing is when they played, which I believe was the previous year. I think Serena beat her. She gave her a bagel on a breadstick, didn't she?
Yeah, it was a beat down.
It was a beat down. So of course, Serena was going into that match like, "Yo, I'm about to take care of business. I didn't spanked up on her, before. I'm about to do this thing again." And circa Sharapova at Wimbledon. Wang Chung was like, "Am I scared of you, heifer?" And Serena was like, "Oh boy, I done got one on the day." So,
right.
And it's like Serena says, everybody brings their A game against her, and because they want to get that they want to get that scalp, and she certainly did on the day because we were not expecting that result whatsoever. I mean, of course, a lot of us were predicting her to go on and potentially even win the title, but apparently Wang Chung had other things in mind. So, yeah. What are your thoughts on that, brother?
It was a surprise because I think we all thought this was a really good chance for Serena to get number 24. She had just won her first tournament as a mom in Auckland over Jessica Pegula, who was playing really well at the time. And even when, just like what I said about Nadal when he lost that first set to Schwartzman, when you see the champions lose the first set, you just kind of feel like, okay, they're going to get it in gear. So she lost that first set 6-4. All right. And I said, okay. And then so Serena clawed and won that second set in a tiebreaker. And I just figured they'd get to the third set and Serena would just. And Wang Chung was like, "You know what? I'm going to keep using this phrase. I'm like SWV. I'm going to be right here.
Yeah, I'm going to be right here.
I'm not going nowhere.
Exactly. I'm
not going nowhere." And so, she pulled that out. And it just broke my heart because I really thought Serena had a good chance to get 24 at the Australian. So I was a little disappointed in that.
Absolutely, man.
So upsets of the year, Schwartzman and Wang Chung. And so now we're going to move to maybe one of what is the premier award that we give out, which is the player of the year.
Dun, 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 dun. Got to get some music with it.
Exactly. Now, here's what we did. We did a little something different this year than last year. So last year, we just gave the Player of the Year award and we was done with it. But we felt like there were a couple of stories this year that led us to, okay, maybe this person is not going to get Player of the Year, but they absolutely deserve an honorable mention. Mm-hmm. So for each Player of the Year, we're going to also have an honorable mention. So we'll start on the women's side here. And the WTA player of the year for us is Sophia Kenin. Sophia Kenin could almost be listed as a breakout story for 2020. She ended the year ranked in the top 5, as number 4. She won 2 titles, the Australian Open and Lyon. She went 24-9 on the year. She won her first major, which was the Australian. And she didn't just she got a little easy draw and so she won. I mean, she took out Coco Gauff in the round of 16. She beat Ash Barty in the semis. And she took out Muguruza in a 3-setter. Now, I say 3-setter, but she gave her 2 hibiscus on the back end of that.
Right.
And we know Muguruza is a battler in Grand Slam finals. So, that was an amazing win. And then on a completely different surface, slow red clay, she made it to the finals of the French Open. Now, remember, she got there and met Swiatek, and Swiatek, showed her what time it was. But, the fact that she made it to a Grand Slam final and she won another singles Grand Slam title, we felt like she deserved Player of the Year. Thoughts,
Absolutely.
Isaac?
Yeah, I mean, the it's the stats, it's the facts. I mean, basically, what you just mentioned that kind of drove our decision on this one is she really, really did have an outstanding year. Again, condensed calendar, but I mean, after that Australian Open win, she was definitely really on par to do some special things. And I know that. She we had the lull and everything, so she lost a bit of her luster, especially with that beat down. Because who beat her Love and Love? I forget about that one. Spanked up. Well, so but still, with all of that being said, she to me is absolutely deserving of the Player of the Year. But as you and I talked, the honorable mention in our minds, of
Hey,
course.
hold on, just a second before we get to the honorable mention. We had Paul come through, who may have had a comment on on this.
It was Azarenka.
You're saying for you, Player of the Year was Azarenka?
No, who beat up on
there you go. Yeah, them double bagels. That's right. Yeah, she's like, I'm not scared of you. I'm old school. Have fun. You better wait. You better make sure you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna be quiet and let y'all finish. Then I got all my lists ready to go.
Okay,
very
good. We will be back with you.
Yes, very good. Good point. Yes, that was Azarenka. There you go. So no, very deserving. But like you said, the honorable mention, and to me, the one that it hits home, of course, is Naomi Osaka. She is most definitely the honorable mention as it relates to Player of the Year. First of all, as you, I don't know that you mentioned this, but we've talked about, she's got the sports person of the year outside of tennis. I mean, sports person of the year. Come on now. Yeah. I mean, that says it all.
Yeah, for both the Associated Press and Sports Illustrated, she was named the Female Athlete of the Year.
Yeah. So to me, that just speaks volumes. I mean, I still think, to me, it's just, like I said, Bryce, it is such a baller move to be like, yo, I got 7 masks, and I'm going to make sure y'all see each and every one of them. I mean, I can't even imagine the level of pressure that you would have to be like, yo, I'm about to make it to the final because y'all going to see all these masks. I think that was just in itself tremendous. So she is the honorable mention. What are your thoughts on that, bro?
Well, all the time they talk about, players' teams do what they can to remove stress from the player so they can just focus on the game and just focus on hitting the ball. And what Osaka basically did was she put a whole coat of extra stress on herself because she put a spotlight on herself. She became the icon for a movement in sports because let's not forget, it was Osaka who during the Western and Southern tournament that's normally played in Cincinnati, was played in New York this year, ended up withdrawing in protest over, I forgot which person had which person had gotten killed.
Right, which is a
this
shame in
time.
itself. Mm-hmm.
Right. But when the tournament didn't acknowledge it and other sports really hadn't started now, she was one of the first ones.
Yep.
And it was her withdrawal from her final match against Azarenka that actually the tournament followed suit and canceled all the other matches that day.
Right, exactly.
So she was really both helping to lead a movement and be the best player she could be. And when you are leading a movement and you can still bag a Grand Slam singles title,
right?
We had to give Player of the Year to Kenin because she absolutely deserved it on what she did across the year, but we had to absolutely acknowledge what Naomi Osaka has done. And like we said, it's been acknowledged Sports Illustrated and Associated Press didn't name Sophia Kenin.
No, they did not.
Right?
Did they even give her an honorable mention?
We try to be better. So, I just wanted to put that out there that, Naomi Osaka had an amazing 2020 nonetheless. And actually, if you've been listening to our podcast, we are predicting for her to have a very strong 2021. So you keep your eyes on Miss Naomi Osaka.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. So that is our ladies' Player of the Year.
Yep. And
go ahead. You want me to go ahead and do the...
Yeah, go ahead and take us to the men. Yeah.
All right. So Player of the Year on the men's side shouldn't necessarily be a surprise. But similar to Kenin, we have selected a first-time Grand Slam champion as the Player of the Year, and that is Mr. Dominic Thiem.
Yes,
yes. Dominic Thiem showed out this year. I mean, to me, given the whole controversy that happened at the U.S. Open and Djokovic, basically defaulting himself, that, in my opinion, put a ton of pressure on Thiem because at that point, he was the top seed. He was the one that people were like, yo, you ain't got the big three, you really should be trying to win this. And, I mean, he had his stumbles. I mean, the fact that he was down 2-0, I believe it was, in the final against Zverev. And the fact, and he was just like, yo, I'm about to buckle down and I'm about to get this thing done. And really,
go ahead. And something I want to add too, because you don't hear a lot of talk about it. He was injured in that final. He was on a bum leg.
Exactly.
So, and they're doing the right thing by not highlighting that, but it's a fact. He was on a bum leg in that final. So to come back 2 sets down on a bum leg and to win, props to that man.
Props, exactly. And like I said, so to be able to do that, get your first Grand Slam title, ain't no asterisk, so we're just going to scratch that right now. He won it fair and square and legitimately. And then to get to the year-ending finals and be like, yo, Nadal and Djokovic, ain't nobody scouting you.
And Tsitsipas.
And that's right, and Tsitsipas. I mean, to me, when you go and show out like that at the year-ending finals, you are definitely playing some ball. And mind you, he did come up short against Medvedev in the final, but hey, he, in my opinion, really, really showed some mettle by taking out both Nadal and Djokovic because not many can say that they've ever done that in the same tournament. And so to me, Thiem is just he has definitely lived up to expectations. In my opinion, is definitely he is definitely in my eyes a Player of the Year. How about you, my man?
Well, and just to continue to compare him to Kenin, not only did he win the U.S. Open, don't forget he lost in a close 5-setter in the finals of the Australian Open to Djokovic.
That's right.
So he was doing it all year long. And some people might say, well, okay, you're saying that you're giving Kenin and Thiem these Player of the Year awards because they made it to the finals of a major and they won a major. Well, Djokovic won a major. He won the Australian. He made it to the finals of the French Open where Rafael Nadal showed him what time it was. And he ended the year on top of the rankings, number 1. And I say, yes, that's true. But he also hit an official in the throat with a ball, with a racket, from his racket.
Right.
And he also was the president and CEO of the Coronavirus for Everyone tour. So I'm sorry, Brothers on Tennis, we will not be complicit by rewarding bad behavior. So
No.
thank you. Come again. Try again next year. All right. Dominique Team, send us your address and we will mail you our print shop award certificates that you can put on your wall in your award room.
There you
Yes,
go.
that is our player of the year. And so based upon what I just said, honorable mention did not go to Djokovic.
No.
Honorable mention for us went to the one and the only Rafael Nadal. Because why? Because number one, and this could be it, basically, he won his 13th
Come on.
French Open. Look,
come on.
We talk all the time about records that may or may not ever be broken or whatever. I'm going to tell you what. This is one of the ones that I think, okay, first of all, how many people got 13 majors, period?
Yeah, it's one.
And then, right.
I mean, outside of the big three, I should say, yeah.
Right. And then to say who got 13 at what?
Right.
Place.
Right.
Look, and not only did Nadal win his just the fact to say that somebody has won 13 of a single major is just mind-blowing in itself. But above and beyond that, if you remember the talk during that tournament, people were saying this was the year that Djokovic was going to show Nadal what time it was at Roland Garros. And I kept telling people, how can you even go against somebody who's won this 12 times? And Nadal came out and said, just to get it started, I'm going to give this dude a bagel and a whole biscuit. Just to get started.
Just to get
started. And then we're going to play a nice set that I'm going to win 7-5, and we're going to go ahead and send Djokovic home. Right?
Yeah.
So, and then on top of that, Nadal at the end of the year was awarded the Stefan Edberg Sportsmanship Award on the ATP side for the third time in 4 years. So not only is he bringing that heat to you on that red clay, but people like it, I guess.
That's exactly. Apparently so. They just like, yep, he's nice too. And he's nice too.
Right. My
man.
goodness.
Yeah. So, it's pretty insane, bro.
Right. So congratulations, Players of the Year, Dominique Thiem, and Sophia Kenin, with strong honorable mentions to Rafael Nadal and to Naomi Osaka. Now, Isaac, we're going to go to the Mr. and Mrs. Petty. I'm going to take Mr. Petty because I need for you to talk about Miss Petty.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
So listeners, if you're not familiar with this award, this is the award that we give to someone on the ATP and the WTA side who have done something that was so trifling, was so petty, that we have to actually recognize them for it. You know?
Yes.
And so I'm going to start with Mr. Petty.
Yes.
And the person that we decided is Mr. Petty for 2020 is none other than Alexander Sasha Zverev. The reason why he won this award, and it's well-deserved, is because for those of you that remember, we had that wonderful Adria tour, better known as the Coronavirus for Everyone tour, where, everybody that played was like, here's some Corona for you, here's some Corona for you, here's some Corona for you. And Alexander Zverev was all up in the mix with those people, and so afterwards he went out and he had this whole public apology in the press that was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry for participating. It was not a thoughtful thing for me to do, and since I was around all these people who have tested positive, I'm now going to go put myself in self-isolation for 14 days." And so we were like, you know what? That's a pretty good thing to do. Good way to stand up, take accountability, and do the right thing. Well, 6 days later, in a crowded club in Monte Carlo, who did we see turning up at the bar? Mr. Alexander Sasha Zverev. And who was the person that got to call him out on it? Mr. Nicholas Kyrgios.
Well,
right? So, having been in contact with people who had tested positive for corona, Djokovic, Dimitrov, Chorich, Dvorsky, they all tested positive. Kyrgios really called him out on, like, how could you be so selfish to then go put yourself in a crowded environment and potentially infect other people after you've come out to the press and told everybody you're going to self-quarantine, but you're really out here turning up in a Monte Carlo club.
Right.
Hey, speak on it.
Man, I mean, you said it all. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, especially at that point in time when you knew, we were in the thick of things with this whole COVID situation, with everybody basically, popping up. I mean, not only did the players test positive, but then their spouses were also testing positive. So it was a lot. There was a whole bunch of folks that popped up. And so for you to step out there and really try and play that, the high road of I'm going to do what's right and I'm going to, self-isolate and then get caught, and especially get caught by Kyrgios. That's the one person you do not want to get caught by, because you know he's going to say something. You know he's going to say it.
Right,
he's going to tell it. He's going to tell it. And he sure did. He got out there and was like, yo, you know this ain't right. So when you got Kyrgios lecturing you, yes, you deserve the Mr. Petty Award. Because simply put, you did wrong.
Right.
So congratulations, Sasha. Good for you.
Yeah. Send us your address.
Exactly. Yep. We'll print it out, get it right to you. I mean, and Bryce, on the lady side, and this one is a bit more personal.
Well.
Okay, so we just gonna rip the Band-Aid off. Basically, our Miss Petty award goes to Miss Coco Vanderway, and here's the reason why. So your boy Isaac and Bryce were at the Challenger tournament in where was that? Newport Beach, I believe it was?
Newport Beach, yeah.
Newport Beach. And we're, doing our Brothers on Tennis thing. We got our gear on and everything is cool. Everything's popping. At the end of the day, things are shutting down. We're off to get the car. We go to the valet. And nope, hey, who's standing there? We got Coco Vanderway and her mother. And so, we're there, and the mother is just as sweet as she wants to be. And she's like, hey, guys, how's it going? And we start talking, and apparently she had, was it Shreveport or New York, or she had a tie to someplace. I forget what the mother has said, but just as nice and just as sweet as she wanted to be. And folks, look to the side of the mama who is being so nice and so wonderful is Coco. With her hands basically folded up, just won't even look our direction. I mean, nothing. We got nothing, folks. Didn't even get a glance. It was as if we were just a speck of nothing. And so while we are sitting there engaging with the mama, got on Brothers on Tennis gear, all of that stuff, the mama's asking all these wonderful questions, being so nice and engaging. Here she is, hands crossed, ain't got nothing to say. I'm sorry. Listen, you need to be better, and you need to do better.
And here's the crazy thing. She had just won her match.
She won, yes. So you should be happy.
I could have understood a little bit if she had just gotten beaten, which a couple days later, Taylor Townsend was going to show her what time it was with a couple of breadsticks, but we'll leave that alone. But she had just won, and I'm like, why are you trying to stand here high post? Do you know you are at a challenger? We're not like outside Roland Garros or Wimbledon or something. We had a challenger at Newport Beach, and you trying to stand you and your 214 ranking. You're going to try to stand here and be high post on somebody. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Come get your award.
Come get your award, because we're going to bronze plate that one, baby, just for you.
Right. And you know what? And I felt bad. I felt bad giving her this award a little bit because her coach is Craig Carton, and I love him. I mean, I was first introduced to him back in the days with Martina Navratilova, and he's coached some of our favorites. I mean, like, he's worked with Lindsay Davenport and Mary Pierce and Zena Garrison and Jennifer Capriati. All these great people.
Mm-hmm.
And he got Miss Petty.
He got Miss Petty.
There we go. We don't spend no more time on that. Let's keep it moving.
And our final award, which this is a new one for us, right? So we didn't actually give this one out last year.
No, we did last year.
We did the No You Didn't?
Yes, we did.
Oh, that's right. We certainly did. Okay, well, guess what, folks? We got another one for you. The No You Didn't Award. And I will go ahead and announce the ladies. The No You Didn't Award.
Your girl.
Goes to my girl, which I ain't mad at her about, because she tried to get her swerve on. That is Miss Danielle Collins. That's right. You know you didn't, girl. No, you didn't. She was in that bubble, and she said, listen, I got some things I need to work out. I ain't trying to stay cooped up in this thing. She broke out that bubble and said, I'm going. I'm about to go get me some vitamins, as she put it. I'm about to get some vitamins because I need my vitamins. Yeah, that's what you needed, all right. Yes, ma'am.
And for those of you that don't remember, you know, she was playing at the Greenbrier in West Virginia. And
yes.
This was World Team Tennis. They're trying to test out this whole, like, bubble environment to get tennis going again. And, you know, somehow Danielle Collins felt like that didn't apply to her, or she didn't hear it, or she didn't understand being in the bubble meant you couldn't go nowhere. And she wanted to hit her alma mater down the road at UVA in Charlottesville and said she was going looking for some supplements for her rheumatoid arthritis. So
we know what supplements she was going after. Don't you? So, you ain't fooling nobody.
But I tell you what, props to World Team Tennis, because they said, you know what? You are dismissed. We are not playing around with this. These are people's lives. These are people's health. You out here acting funny? No. Go.
No. And folks, I joke because, like I said, Danielle Collins is my girl, but you're exactly right, Bryce. It was definitely poor form on her part, because again, they're testing out this bubble, trying to make sure everybody is safe, and she was just like, yo, I'm out. And they were like, okay, cool, you dismissed. And then she was like surprised, it seemed like afterwards, like, what? I don't understand. It's like, you understand. You know exactly what's up.
They like going back to Charlottesville.
Exactly. Go on back. Go on. It was that important. Go on, get it. Don't do it. Right. So
now, for everybody should probably be able to predict who our No You Didn't award winner is on the men's side. And it goes to the one and the only Novak Djokovic. And you know what? He actually had 3 strong reasons to compete for this award. And I'm going to run them down real quick.
Go ahead, bro.
We want to get you guys up here to tell us what works for you guys. So, number 1, he decided, you know, I'm not making enough money on this ATP tour, so I want to form a whole new union to succeed from the ATP. Mind you, Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal already said, no thank you. So that should already tell you a little something. But he was like, no, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to form this, I'm going to get me these impressionable other players on the men's side, and we're gonna form this little group so that we can be mean and anti-establishment.
Right.
So it was like, okay, you're being a little extra with that, but okay, you got the right. Then, when the world is coming out with all these protocols on how to stay healthy and safe during the coronavirus pandemic, he decides to become president and CEO of the Adria Tour, better known as the Coronavirus for Everyone Tour, where he got everybody and their spouse sick with corona. up there and was rather indignant about it for a long time until he eventually was like, oh, okay, maybe I should have done some things differently. And so he's already earned this award at this point, right?
Uh-huh.
But then at the U.S. Open, where literally they were engraving his name on the trophy.
Exactly.
They were engraving his name on the trophies, and they was like, "Ain't nobody here can beat you."
Nope.
And
Nobody.
Djokovic was like, "Hold my Corona, because I'm gonna take this ball and I'm gonna hit this lineswoman in her throat, and I'm gonna knock her down." And you know what? And although we know that that's not what his intent was, you know, when you do dumb things can happen. Though.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
But let's not forget, this was the same guy who was at the net talking to the officials, saying, "You're gonna default me? Look, she's up walking around and everything." You know.
After I hit her in the throat.
After I hit her in the throat, and everybody has seen that picture where that woman is looking up at him like he about to hit her again.
She did look scared. She really did look scared, dude. She was like, no.
Wait a minute. Uh-oh, Paul. What?
I just can't stand you right now for that. So I'm gonna stay on. I'm gonna stay on because you better be almost finished. Then I'm gonna get mine.
So, all right. So, congratulations.
You got me in tears.
To Miss Danielle Collins and Novak Djokovic for our 2020 No You Didn't Award. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to start inviting you guys up to tell us what were some of the critical things that happened in the world of tennis for you in 2020. And Paul, you're already up here, so I'm just going to turn it over to you.
Come on, Paul.
Well, thank you so much. I actually didn't know Coco Vandeweghe was still playing. That's nice. Yeah, so good for her. Good for her.
I know that's right.
Now, hey, what's up, Miles? I'm gonna run through my awards, but before I do, I want to tell y'all I talked to Courtney Scott. He's down to get on there with you. So, interview some.
So listeners, you heard it right here on Brothers on Tennis. Paul has just hooked us up with. We will be interviewing Courtney Scott on Brothers on Tennis. He is the hitting partner for Coco Golf. So look for that in the near future. Thank you, Paul.
Paul, you the man.
Got you. I got you. Let me run through these real quick because I agree with most of the stuff you said, but I thought Yannick Sinner had a full season. I thought we had to pick someone that was in their debut season. Was this his debut full schedule season?
No, it wasn't, but it was the first full season that he did something.
Yeah, okay. So I will go with Sinner, but for the women, I'm gonna go with Fernandez from Canada.
That's a good pick.
That's a good pick.
I have my eyes on her as well. Great pick.
I'm gonna go with her on sheer talent and how she really uses a lefty serve. I haven't seen it like that in a while. I'm excited, for the goals she set, and she reached them, and she has set lofty goals. She got an interview and said, "I'm gonna be in the top 10 next year." I said, "Okay, that's right. The way you talk. That's the way you talk." So, it's like with Jen Brady. I feel like she pulled an Agassi and made the best of what she's got, but Fernandez has that talent that I'm excited about. Breakout for me, of course, was Rublev, but I also had Sinner because I wasn't sure if he was Newcomer or Breakout. So Sinner announced that forehand, and everybody's looking across that net like, man, he hasn't even been in the gym yet. So next year is going to be, when he gets his man body, it's going to be a problem.
Right.
Did you guys think that he's the hitting partner for Nadal at the Australian Open?
Really?
Who was?
Yep. They're doing designated pairs because of the quarantine situation.
Oh, okay.
And Nadal is the hitting partner of Sinner and vice versa.
Nice.
Because I think when Nadal saw that forehand at the front, he was like, I want to practice with this person.
Exactly.
I think Nadal is smart. Yeah.
That's right.
Obviously for the women, it's Schwantek. She's a good cook. She gave lots of pastries and bagels out. She's a good chauffeur. She drove people around. But the thing that really made her a breakout for me was that once she mowed down Jalapeno, it was the next match. It was the next match because that's the one where they fall apart.
That's right.
Because the press acts like you already won it when you beat someone of Halep's caliber. And her and that psychiatrist, which Tsitsipas needs to visit, kept her.
You better
kept
preach.
her together. She kept all her ingredients fresh. She left the burners on. She cooked up some more pastries. She didn't spill nothing. She didn't have no oil, grease burns.
I am done.
Sadly for Isaac, it was not Rybakina. But anyway.
I don't like Rybakina.
See, look at you. Thank you, Miles. Thank you, Miles. Come on now.
Come on
The
now.
only
y'all.
thing I'll say about Swiatek is maybe it's the Ostapenko in me, or maybe it's the Ostapenko fan that I've seen. I'm a little worried that she's not going to be able to follow up that tournament. Because it's prevalent in the WTA to have one big breakthrough tournament or season, and then that next season you looking like, let me go back to the ITF and get this shit together. Because
I mean, yeah, Messina. You can go on down the line.
Messina, yep,
Right.
Safina,
yep. Well, but see, that's where that psychologist comes into play, though.
Right. So we'll see. So
I'm glad she does have that.
That's right. That's right. Go ahead.
My upset of the for the women was Laura Clark, who defeated Djokovic when he hit her in the neck with that ball.
Wait, who was that?
And on the men's side, it was Berrettini who defeated himself all year.
Yes.
I can't believe he's still in the top 10. Well, I guess I can because of the frozen rankings. But
I mean, that's right. I mean, isn't that the only reason? It's crazy.
That's the only reason.
Pretty much.
His was a season-long upset for me. He just defeated himself again and again.
He's too big to play such powder puff tennis.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. I would say Kenin over Mugu in the Australian Open final. It wasn't that it was an upset. I just get upset when Kenin wins.
She's such a screw. Man, I'm right there with you. She's tough to look at as well.
I just get upset. Player of the year. For player of the year of the WTA, I'm glad you all mentioned Osaka and the 7 masks because it actually was a throwback. Because if y'all remember, Serena used to bring 7 outfits.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
So I saw that when she said that, I said, okay, you also giving a little props to your idol. That's nice. And then she came through and wore every single mask. I thought that was, for me, that makes her player of the year. To put that kind of pressure on yourself and to be a international spokesperson, and I'll just never give Kenin anything, so I just can't do it. And
we totally understand that.
My honorable mention is actually
when
Azarenka.
Did Serena have 7 outfits? I know she's had
way back in the day, like I think at the French, she had that Cameroon look, and then she had
the green and gold. Yeah.
And then she changed into I think she has 7 looks. I think Venus brought 7 looks to the U.S. Open one year.
7 different patterns of floral. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. Come on. Leave Venus alone. She's selling lots of outfits to lots of 60-year-old white ladies in Palm Beach Gardens.
They love it.
They love it. My honorable mention would be Azarenka. Just, everything you've been through to...
For sure.
And the season before to have such a dismal season.
Well, you know what, Paul? When we were going through this, we don't have a comeback player of the year, and we may add that next year.
That would have been her,
She would have absolutely been our pick for that. Yeah,
absolutely.
For me, male player was Team, and honorable mention was Medi, so those were the same for me.
Yeah, I can give you that.
The No You Didn't was Kenin pouting at her French Open interview.
Well,
yeah.
How are you
pouting?
When she at her interview after she lost the French Open, didn't say congratulations to Iga, just and Danielle trying to get that vitamin D. That's right.
But did you have to go so far for vitamin D? It was right there. It was getting multiple options.
Hey, you got to
Listen.
get the right vitamin D. You can't just take
I
any
know that's
vitamin
right.
D. Come on now.
And look, she had a lot of contacts at her alma mater. So, I mean, you know.
As you all know, I call her Karen because she's the Karen that goes wild, and that's
Very much so.
Yes.
And of course, my male "No, you didn't" was just Zverev in general.
Oh, see,
he is
hitting on people.
Yeah,
literally.
Yep.
See, now I thought your "No, you didn't" for the men was going to be John Isner.
Boom.
Oh, it's coming.
Yep.
I'm ready. That's my John. Hold up! Don't let me get these other ones out. My petty is Stefano Tsitsipas not knowing about Black Lives Matter and having to ask Naomi Osaka to explain to him what's up with Black people and this whole thing. How are you an international? How are you in a sport that travels to every country in the world, pretty much every continent, and you know that little artsy thing he pulls? That ain't for me anymore. And he's one of my people.
I hate to play devil's advocate, but I do think there's a certain degree of tennis players kind of being in their own bubble, like even before quarantine bubbles. So I'll give him a slice of that for not knowing. But you have a point, a really good point.
Well, I thought the petty was me being petty, so I'm agreeing with you. Like it's me being petty about so I misunderstood the award. Like I'm feeling like. Because they're in their bubbles, and then this year they were in a bubble within a bubble, so I get it. And I was just feeling some type of way about it. Yes, Zverev out there trying to do the right thing. You ain't Spike Lee, fool. Keep your hands to yourself.
How does Zverev hit his girlfriend harder than his second serve? I don't get that.
I mean, right?
I don't understand that.
With a lot more spin, keep it in the
with
court.
A hook. With a hook on it. I just don't get it.
Good. Now, the thing that got on my nerves, my "No, you didn't," was Wawrinka getting fed by that 18-year-old Italian.
Oh, Gaston.
Yeah.
Whoever it was, Luch.
Wait, what's it? Gaston?
No, it was at the Madrid or Rome match where it was Luciano or Lorenzo.
I was actually Italian. Italian, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Italian Open, yes, the Italian Open. Lorenzo Musetti.
Yep, there you go, Musetti. That's yep.
In fact, my newcomer of the year would be these Italian kids in general. That sort of squad that's coming. If I had to, if I could cheat a little bit with that. So let me get to John Isner. At least Djokovic, who I also can't stand, had, when Djokovic messes up, it's like what we always saying. His intent, he's a screw up. I wanted to use a different word.
He wants to be loved too much, and I think that overshadows his reason. Like his reason, he just wants to be loved.
Yes,
because everyone else loves Roger and
Yes, and no matter how many Grand Slams he wins, he ain't never right.
He's never gonna have that fan base.
That's right. Sorry, but Isner willfully is saying these crazy things about Corona and that people shouldn't wear a mask. And all I have to say is, I'm gonna ether you, Isner. You played in these tournaments and you put the mask on your face. And I'm one of those people that you stand. If you believe that, then you should have stood to the side. But you wanted that money, so you're greedy. You're heartless. You probably have passed Corona on to people that you don't even know, because that's the thing about the virus, You could pass to this person, who passed to the next person, who passed to the next person, and that's the person that dies. And you need to never pick up a racket. You can't run anyway. Listen, somebody
put it down in 2010.
Somebody had a thing. Which of these, if you're just a everyday player, like us, which of these skills would you want to add to your arsenal? Isner serve, Federer's what was it? Federer's Federer's volley, Federer's net play, Djokovic return to serve, Rafael's forehand. You could pick one, and all these people were saying Isner serve. I'm like,
is it that good?
But I'm like, Isner serve ain't won him nothing. So
right.
What you think he's gonna do?
If he was smart, he would have stopped after Miami.
Right. If that serve was all that, he'd have won something.
How you barely make it to Wimbledon semifinal hitting 140 miles per hour service? How?
Right.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Isn't he the one that played that match that went for like 3 days?
Yeah, that's his
Yeah.
only claim to fame. I would have stopped then. I would have stopped then.
Yeah. He just should have, when he fell out, he just should have never got back up.
Boom.
You know,
He's
you
too
need to
tall
go
and
work on
gangly to be so loud and dumb. It just doesn't go together.
just goofy and loud and dumb.
Goofy.
No backhand, no backhand having.
And for our listeners who don't understand the full picture, you know.
Oh, sorry, I should have broke it down why we don't like him.
Right.
You're right.
There was on Twitter, John Isner had made a comment about the coaches on the side wearing masks.
Should I pull it up? It's still up there. He ain't never deleted it. That's the problem right there.
Wow.
It was just cosmetic theater that it made no sense. And
it was this is the NFL.
NFL, right. And somebody responded to him that you should always wear a mask. And it just seemed like it was a tone-deaf type statement to make, considering, you know, it really isn't about how safe or not it is on the sideline in the NFL game. It's about messaging, right? And right now, the messaging is wearing a mask helps to save lives, right?
And listen, he's saying that about black people. He's sitting there, a white man, watching a bunch of black people running around doing something that he could never do, when any black person who put in the focus could get it in on the tennis court, because we can do anything. And I'm not shy about saying that.
I don't understand how people want to be around him, because I know he's supposed to play in this Delray Beach tournament, which side-eye to that tournament for even happening, because the rest of the tournaments are in the Middle East and Australia, so that one's just in Florida for what? But I personally couldn't even want to be in the locker room around him with him just being reckless like that.
Now, Miles, is the Delray maybe happening because so many of them are training around there's like enough of them there's enough of them training in that area that they just going to get some matches in and call it the Delray? You know what I mean?
But Milos Raonic just pulled out today, and I think the draw was released today as well too. So we'll see who actually lifts that trophy. We'll see.
Oh, really? It's gonna be Alexander Fokinovich or somebody.
It actually might be my guy who I don't think we've talked about, Christian Garin.
He's
very slept on. I don't think he's a top seed now. Well, maybe he might be because of Raonic pulling out.
Is that Norwegian dude? Is Christian Ruud? He's pretty good too.
Oh, Casper Ruud. Yep.
Casper.
Yep.
He's good on clay. I don't know if he's in that tournament, but he's good.
Yeah, no, Garin was the top seed. I'm looking at the draw right now.
And Opelka's there, and Tommy Paul. You know.
Come on, y'all. Them the two I like.
You like Opelka?
That's what I'm saying.
He's like Isner 2.5.
Listen, okay, so here's my deal, and I'm just going. Opelka, to me, because I've kind of followed him a little bit on IG and social media, and mind you, I don't know if this is fodder or not, but it just seems like whenever Tiafo puts some things out, he supports him. He's always kind of to me is at least trying to put some things out there as it relates to the social, the social scene, if you will, as to what's been going on in 2020. I appreciate the effort. Whether it's genuine or not, I don't know. Yeah. But I will say that for right now, I'm giving him at least a little bit of a pass, because I feel like at least he is one that is trying. Unlike your John Isners, unlike your Ryan Harrisons, unlike your Tennis Sandgrens.
Y'all right?
Listen,
all of their doors.
Come on now.
Listen. Unlike your Sam Querrey, who fled the pig.
Talk about it.
Well,
okay. Fled the country with you're a fugitive. Come on, y'all.
With your COVID.
And I'm actually,
exactly.
I think he got fined and suspended, but his name is still on that Delray Beach draw. So I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Well, let me tell you what. I'm going to tell you, I actually have an update on that, and we're going to talk about that. We have to end this show here, but we're getting ready to pop over to IG Live. Yes. And we actually have some hot topics that we didn't even bring up on this episode.
Ooh, Birdman hand rub.
Right. Because we haven't even talked about the Serena piece yet. So,
yes.
So
wait, did we just see her response to what's his face, or her husband response?
Meet us on IG Live in 5 minutes. So, to our listeners, thank you very much for listening in to the Brothers on Tennis 2020 Awards. You know, we're so excited that we were able to bring this to you in a different way, because on Locker Room, as you see, we are able to bring you up on and into the conversation. So really, thanks for listening to our live show here on Locker Room. If you've liked this show, please be sure to start your own room or engage with other fans on the app. Download the Locker Room app in the Apple App Store to be a part of our podcast, which will be every Monday at 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific Time, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. So with that, we are looking forward to a strong 2021. Like Shirley Caesar said, we made it, and we are, and we are signing off. So this is your boy Bryce.
And this is your boy Isaac.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. We'll talk to you next week.